Yo, dudes, the Empire's pretty chill. Maybe you could, join it or something.
Hey everyone, Lucimus Prime here. So, it is time for the next episode of Movie That Deserves a Sequel. Now, in today's video, guys, I'm going to be covering an example of, this time, a comic book adaptation, which is ironically a sequel, which, in my opinion, does deserve a sequel. And this film, guys, is going to be for a sequel featuring a character who is based on the Dark Horse comics, his character of the same name, and created by Mike Mignola. And this movie, guys, which in my opinion strongly deserves a sequel, is none other than 2008's Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. So, when it comes to what I think of Hellboy, Hellboy is one of my favourite comic book characters of all time, one of my favourite superheroes who is not made by Marvel or DC. And my favourite Hellboy of all time always will be Ron Perlman. As far as I'm concerned, no one can totally embody Hellboy better than him as far as I'm concerned. He, to me, is Hellboy. And I love both of his movies, and I, of course, own both of them as, of course, Blu-ray Steelbooks. And the first one is my personal favourite, and one of my favourites of all time by the director Guillermo del Toro, who's made lots of phenomenal movies. This is definitely one of them, and so is the sequel as well, in my opinion. And also, as well, I definitely would love it if they did a third movie. So, when it comes to the ending of the second movie, it sets up that Hellboy is going to have an important role in the future, of course, being a father. So, what would be really cool is if his third movie had a story in which Hellboy is a dad now, and of course he's raising his children, and he's also training them to be, to be superheroes like him. I think that would be a great concept, and you could even bring in other villains not encountered in the movies before from the Hellboy comics. That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? I would definitely love to see that happen, absolutely. That'd be great. And also as well, when it comes to this movie, the fact that, it made more money than the first movie as well shocked me that they didn't do a sequel to it. Because when a film does well at the box office, it's guaranteed to have more continuation, right? Of course. But unfortunately, that didn't come to be. When it comes to the future of the Hellboy franchise, however, though, after Ron Perlman, of course, went through the entire makeup procedure to play Hellboy for charity, to visit a child for charity who was a massive fan of Hellboy and got to hang out with Hellboy for a day, that, of course, inspired Del Toro to begin work on a third Hellboy movie. So I think Del Toro had it in mind what he was going to do, but unfortunately, for what's supposed to be the next movie, he was not given the director's chair for it. But because he wasn't going to be the director, Del Toro backed out of the movie, and because of this, Ron Perlman, who is a very loyal collaborator of Del Toro, who appears in lots of his movies, he refused to return as Hellboy without Del Toro's involvement. So, I can totally understand why Ron Perlman, of course, did not want to return as Hellboy without Del Toro, because what came after the first two films in live action is definitely proof that you can't do a Hellboy film without the involvement of Guillermo del Toro. Because, unfortunately, we got an absolutely garbage reboot in 2019, once again called Hellboy. And this reboot, in my opinion, was trash. And it's also negative reviews, which I'm not surprised at, because I hated the movie when I saw it. I thought it was terrible. It took away everything that I love about the Hellboy franchise and was gone completely. And I did not like what they did with it at all. David Harbour was decent as Hellboy, but he does not come close, in my opinion, to Ron Perlman. As far as I'm concerned, only Ron Perlman can totally embody who Hellboy is as a character. And the film, of course, had a very bland villain, being, of course, the Blood Queen. And I also think Ian McShane was unfortunately a miscast as Trevor Brutenholm. John Hurt, may rest in peace, was a perfect casting for all because he looked exactly like I did in the comics, of course, and played him really well. But the film just wasn't good, in my opinion. It was very disappointing, and yeah, a massive letdown. Like, it completely lacked the spirit of what made the first two films so good. Really did. And unfortunately as well, despite this film getting negative reviews and scrapping any chance of any sequel to this movie, unfortunately, there's going to be another reboot in the franchise, which of course is something called Hellboy the Crooked Man, or something like that. And it's a new live-action reboot, and it's been confirmed that an actor called Jack Hesse is going to be playing Hellboy, and with other cast members confirmed as well. But all I can say in response, guys, is without Ron Perlman and Del Toro, it's no watching from me. No chance. I'm not going to be watching another Hellboy adaptation without Del Toro and Ron Perlman. Without them, it's going to be dead on arrival, this movie. Maybe even dead before arrival, for all I know. Because Del Toro knows how to portray Hellboy. He really does. And Ron Perlman, as I've said, no one in my opinion can top him as Hellboy. So that's why I really hope that the negative reviews of the 2019 reboot was a wake-up call for the company to decide to actually greenlight a third Hellboy film by Del Toro and give him a director's chair and the whole control over it, of course, and bring back Ron Perlman as Hellboy. Because last year, guys, Ron Perlman did say that he would love to do Hellboy 3, and he encouraged Del Toro to make a third movie for the fans, and because they owe it to them, and they better do it soon, of course, because Ron is in his 70s now, so he's getting on a bit. So I really hope we do make one soon, I really do, because it's definitely, you know, a very well-deserved opportunity to do a third movie, especially, of course, after the success of Del Toro's recent stop-motion Pinocchio movie, which is my favourite movie he's done ever. That was an absolute masterpiece. So I hope he's given him a chance to do a third Hellboy movie now. When it comes to what in the meantime, guys, I will keep, of course, re-watching my Blu-rays of the two movies so far, of course. And I even as well have one of the animated Hellboy films on DVD as well, which, of course, is Hellboy Animated Blood and Iron, which is definitely a pretty good movie, especially because many of the cast from the film reprise their roles in it. And it even comes with a comic as well, which is pretty cool. I've not got Sword and Stone yet, but hopefully I'll find it one day, though. I really hope so. Maybe even upgrade Blood and Iron to Blu-ray. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? I'll also play the games which Ron Perlman voiced Hellboy in, and I, of course, also have Injustice 2 and Hellboy's in that as a DLC character, so I'll play as him in that. Although I do wish Ron Perlman voiced him in that game, though. But still, Hellboy was good in that game, but he was better than the reboot version, in my opinion. Much better. So, long story short, guys, in my opinion, and Hellboy 2, The Golden Army from 2008 is a strong example, in my opinion, of a film that does deserve a sequel. And I really hope it happens, absolutely. Because, yeah, hopefully the bad reboot will be a wake-up call for them to do a third live-action movie by Del Toro with Ron Perlman reprising his role. Maybe bringing back other characters too, of course. Definitely people such as Liz Sherman, of course, and also Abe Sapien, among many others as well. So I really hope that will happen. And they obviously probably won't be able to bring back John Hurt as Trevor Reed's because John Hurt, unfortunately, of course, passed away, so rest in peace. So, yeah, I can accept Trevor not being in the film because John Hurt passed away. Rest in peace. They could bring back Jeffrey Tambor's Tom Manning, though, of course. I think he could come back, and other familiar faces could also return as well, which could be great, too. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, so this is me doing the next episode of the movie of the sequel, saying why, in my opinion, Hellboy 2, The Golden Army is a big example of a film that deserves a sequel. So, you know, drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also, be sure to leave in the comments what you guys think of Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. Do you need a sequel on the comments below what you think? Also, be sure to join Team Prime by pressing subscribe in the future. If you would like to be a member, you can join using a piece of lads or in the description, and I'll see you all later.